Hello, my friends. Jerry Rosa here in the Rosa Stringworks Man Cave. I was snickering at David Tharp's little quirp there just before we went live, which is also the reason I was a second or two late clicking the button. Oh, my goodness. You guys have a good time there before we go live, don't you? Get a lot of comments in there before we go live. And then I come along and spoil all your fun. I am going to attempt to do a new chirp that I have never done before. In fact, I can honestly say I don't think I've ever played this one before, let alone played it for anybody else. I'm pretty sure I played it today for the first time. Well, that's probably not 100% true. I might have had an instrument in my hand when I wrote it, but I never really did anything with it. Probably, again, for good reason. This one's, I would recommend that you go ahead and get your box of Kleenex up close, because you'll probably need it. This is called A Visit with Mother. I came home to visit with Mother. You see, I've been gone too long. As I pulled in the drive, there were cars on both sides. A family reunion, I hope. I opened the door to the old place. It seemed all the family was there. I could see the sad in their faces as my father stopped me at his chair. Son, we've called for you all day, and I hate to break the news to you this way, but last night in her sleep the Lord called her to keep. She's resting much better up there. Make plans to visit with loved ones. There's no better time than today. Make haste and waste not a moment, for too soon they could all be called away. Be kind and gentle with Mother. Just a word or two will make her day. And remember, you'll never have another, so make plans for a visit today. It's been 30 years since that moment when Mother was called back home. Soon I'll get a chance for a visit with her and Dad around the golden throne. Remember this message and keep it close by your heart every day. Don't forget to pay them a visit, or you'll have to wait until the judgment day. Make plans to visit with loved ones. There's no better time than today. Make haste and waste not a moment, for too soon they could all be called away. Be kind and gentle with Mother. A word or two will make her day. And remember, you'll never have another, so make plans for a visit today. And remember, you'll never have another, so make plans for a visit today. Yeah, that's a tough one to sing these days. As, of course, my mother is gone. And it's easy to write things like that. It's hard to practice them. And I never practiced it very well, I got to be honest. Nice guitar. You still got time to bid on it till about 5 o'clock this evening, roughly. I'm not sure the exact ending time. It's either 4 or 5 o'clock this evening. One last good look at it. It's a nice guitar. It's at $2,400 presently. It's got a Purple Heart bridge. What more could you ask for? And it's a really good bridge on top of that. One that you can't buy anywhere else. You can't get that bridge anywhere else on this planet. Well, that's probably not true, because if you ordered one, and somebody would make you one, I guess. But anyway, let's see where we're at on, well, no, I don't want to go to the comments yet. Let's, JR had a friend here last night that spent the night, and they went out turkey hunting this morning. And here's that result. Yeah, that's a big old gobbler turkey. And I don't know the friend's name. He told me yesterday. I've met him once before, but I can't remember his name. I'm sorry. But anyway, it's a nice big gobbler. It's a big mature gobbler. There's ways you can tell it's mature. In that inset picture above my head, you can see, it's hard to see, but that grass is covering up its beard. The beard goes from the turkey's chest and comes forward, and you can see that kind of a black semicircle there in the grass, and it ends way out there past the grass, and that black is what you call the turkey's beard. It's a bunch of matted feathers or something along those lines. They look more like hairs, actually. When you look at them up close, they look more like hairs. But anyway, that one there is about approximately a 12-inch beard, I would guess. It's pretty close to that, 10 to 12 inches anyway. The other way you can tell that's a mature gobbler is not only by the beard, because the beard, you know, on an immature gobbler, the beard would only be about an inch and a half to 3 inches long on an immature gobbler. The other way you can tell that it's a mature gobbler is the tail fan. The fan that he's holding up there, it's all full-length feathers. Whenever you have an immature gobbler, those end feathers will be shorter. And you can see they're all the same length there. Stuff you didn't care to know, but you know now, see? So those are just some of the things that you know when you live in the country and you live this lifestyle that we live. I was wanting to go out and get one of them myself, but the ticks are just ridiculous. And the reason I didn't go out this morning is because I ordered some tick spray, 100% DEET. I ordered it on the 8th. And it's still not here. I was ordering it so I'd have it in time for the 15th, which was opening day of turkey season. And it's still not here. It's supposed to be here tomorrow, according to the... so I probably just go out this weekend and see if I can get a turkey. Plus, I'm not even hunting for mushrooms right now, which is really, that's almost sacrilegious, really, to not be hunting for mushrooms. The ticks are just ridiculous. It's unbelievable how bad they are. Anyway, and I've already had Rocky Mountain Spotted Fever twice. I thought I'd only had it once. Sue said I've had it twice. But anyway, definitely have had it, and I don't need that again. So there you go. After the turkey thing, I've got a water wheel progress video to show you. So here we go. Well, my friends, we're at the water wheel project here. I got a lot more done yesterday than I would have expected. You can see I rerouted the water through here, and it's running down across the road and back into the pond. We have to drive across this right now, presently. And I'll show you what I did up here. I just made a mud dam in the middle of this and force the water through this crack. You can see very little water is going down this now. There's still seepage, but it's not enough to care too much about. And that seepage, of course, still makes its way down. And I also, believe it or not, got the pipe installed, the new pipe. Now I have to cut this off and with the cutting torch yet, but at least the pipe is in place. I figured I'd wait and cut it off after I got it in place because I didn't know exactly how long I needed it to be. It's just about right on this end. Unfortunately, on this end, it's not bad. It just could be better. You know, I didn't think about the width of this trench, and the pipe. When I pried it up to raise up this end, it pushed it over that way. Well, now I'm kind of coming out behind my wall, so now I'm going to have to either weld on some more onto this and come around, or I'm going to have to build a fancy flume. It's just more extra work. But you can see that the pipe is obviously at the right level because look, there's water dripping out of it, and that's just from the trickle that's coming down the thing. So, you know, 90% of the water is going into the pond, but that just tells you that the pipe level is perfect. And I raised it up pretty good. You know, I was hoping to get 15, 18 inches. I think I only got about 12, 13 inches, honestly. But even that's better than what I had. You know, before, the axle of the water wheel was only going to be 6 inches above the concrete. Now I'll get it up about 18 inches above the concrete, which was about my goal. You know, I was hoping to get higher than that. I would have loved to got 2 feet, but, you know, you can only do what you can do, and that's what I got. So it'll work, though. I think we'll make it work. Today's project will be trying to clean this mess up and trying to tuck point this and get this, you know, more watertight so that we don't lose any water into the ground. All of the water will come down through in the water wheel. This is going to be a big project. I doubt I could get this all done in one day, but I'm going to try. We'll see how it goes. Not bad for a guy who'll be 70 this year. There was a lot more hand digging than it looks like there. Just getting that water rerouted down to the pond, most of that was hand digging. I did take the bobcat and just take the teeth of the bucket and rake when I got onto the road where the road was so packed and so hard. I did take the teeth and rake it through there to loosen it up. But I still had to basically shovel all that out by hand. So that was a lot more work than that looked like. It took me till lunchtime just to get the water rerouted with, you know, with getting the dirt in there and damming it up. And I had to dam up several other places that you couldn't really tell there in the video also, but to keep the water running the right way. But anyway, it was quite a bit of work. So I got that all done by lunchtime, and then in the afternoon I came back down and dug out that pipe with my backhoe attachment on my bobcat, and you know, pulled the pipe out of the ground, the old pipe, and it was time for that to come out. It was pretty much rusted through and pretty bad. It wasn't much good. And so it was time for that to go away anyway. And then, of course, I raised it up as high as I could raise it up. It's just barely under the road surface now. I would say it's 4 inches under the road surface, 5 inches maybe. And that's about as high as you really want to have it. Anyway, it's as good as I could get it done, and it was worth doing, I think. It's just part of this whole overall water wheel project. I knew that from day one, the water wheel project was a big project. It wasn't just build a water wheel and stick it up there, you know. I mean, you could have done that, but that's just doing it halfway, and I don't want to do it halfway. If I'm going to do it, I want to do it where it'll last for a very, very long time. That's everything I know about everything. So let's go to the comments. John Pepper was number one. He says, good morning to everybody. And Chuck Heidbreder and David Hunt and Dottie Hildebrandt and Brian Byler. Let's see. Any question marks up here that I care about? Or are they just private conversations? Probably private. Let's see. All right. Dottie's still praying for everybody and the hands. Well, Dottie, last night, Sue had a new remedy for my hands. And I told you I'm not trying anything else. So reluctantly, I let her try her new remedy. It was a concoction that she put together. probably something she saw on the internet. I have no idea. Anyway, it was castor oil mixed with turmeric, and then that was, you know, pretty much just plastered over my hands, and it's real oily and nasty feeling. I hate stuff like that. But anyway, we did it and put it all over my hands. Then we put my hands in plastic bags because they're a mess, and then put my hands in a heat blanket or a heating pad, but it's a real long heating pad that can fold over. So, you know, there was heat on the bottom and heat on the top, and I left them in that heating bag for a full solid hour, and they still hurt today. It really didn't seem to make any difference as far as I can tell. They were really hurting last night. I guess after all that work was probably aggravating them, I guess, using that shovel all day. But anyway, and on top of all that, there's 4 or 5 side projects in there that I didn't even talk about. One of them was I broke the shovel handle because I was trying to use the shovel to pry that pipe up, and that's a heavy pipe, it's steel, and of course I broke it. It was a fiberglass handle and busted it right in two. So the side project was I cut that all off slick, and then turned down a long heavy dowel rod that would fit in both ends of that, put that back together and glued that together and put some tape over the seam, and it's about as good as it can be fixed, I guess. It was my metal detecting shovel, so I didn't really, I didn't want to be without it. That metal detector should be coming anytime soon, by the way, and I don't know, I guess, you know how it is with everything's tied to everything anymore. If you look at something online, then all your videos pop up with that. So there was all kinds of videos popping up that were about the Manicore last night. So I watched a few of them. And man, I'm telling you what, I'm more impressed now than I was. I thought it was going to be a good metal detector, but based on these people's feedback, and these are just people I never even watched before, they were saying, well, I've been using the Knock the Legend, and I think the Knock the Legend's the best metal detector around, and then he starts using the Manicore, and he's still skeptical, for a long time, and his video was like an hour long. By the end of the video, let me just say it this way, not only by the end of the video, but 6 months later, he's still using the Manicore, so there you go. So I think what I'm ordered is one of the better metal detectors for sure. And it really changed things for him. I mean, he said he had searched these sites time and time and time again and wasn't finding anything. And he was finding Roman coins left and right. I mean, he was pulling them out of the ground. He was pulling them out by the dozen. It was unbelievable. So I'm hoping now, I don't expect those kinds of results. I don't have my hopes near that high, but I'm just hoping that it will help me separate some of the targets out here in this iron and, find a few more Civil War trinkets and things like that. And, if I find 2 or 3 things, I'll be tickled. So I'm not expecting anything real great. My hopes are not up that terribly high. I think the first thing I'm going to do, though, is search my little front yard out here. It's just a little tiny front yard. It's enclosed. There's a sidewalk through it. You've seen the walk out here, and it's just a little small thing on the left and a little small thing on the right of the sidewalk. And I'm going to search that because I've searched that 1 billion times already, and I'm really not finding anything out there anymore. If the Manicore finds anything out there, then I'm going to be really stoked to use the Manicore anywhere else. I have a feeling it won't find anything out there because the detector I already have is a good one. That 800 is a good metal detector. So I doubt I'll find anything, but you never know. So moving on. So see, Dottie, all that was generated by just your hand comment there. I don't know how it got there, but that's how it got there. Ronald Todd, where's Rod? I don't know. Let's see. Moving on down. Looking for question marks primarily. Boy, there's a lot of comments. You guys are just having way too much fun. I don't see any question marks. At least I don't see any. I hope I'm not passing them up. Moving on down. Okay, Carolyn Feig. Jerry, we really appreciate your opening the vlog link early enough for us to get acquainted and visit. It's fun. There you go. Well, one of these days, I thought I'll just give you warning in case, like if I'm for some reason would happen to be getting into the turkey hunting, because it'll go next week as well. If I put one out there and it says that it starts at noon, I'll put it out at the same time or maybe even earlier, and it might start at noon. I mean, if I decide I really like the turkey hunting, because turkey season, you can only hunt in the morning. And I'll probably won't even hunt until Saturday morning. But if for some reason I want to keep hunting, then that's the kind of message you'll see out there, on Monday or Tuesday if that would occur. I'm not saying it will. I'm just saying it could happen. Just so you know. And then let's see. Moving on down. David Tharp, here's his comment that made me chuckle just before we went live. He says, yesterday I saw a girl riding on a bicycle and I yelled, "Cow!" She just gave me a really dirty look, and then she ran straight into a cow. I tried. I think that's funny. Dottie Hildebrand, after we went live, Walt Willard was first, then Dottie Hildebrand says, "Jerry, you don't spoil our conversations. We are like the cherry on the top for the blog." Rod Wentler says, "Beautiful song, Jerry." Well, thank you. Carolyn Fike, sweet song with a vital lesson. Yeah, I have never, ever, ever done that song, ever. Not ever. I know I haven't. I've never played it for even Sue or anybody, and the reason I know that is because I thought, well, it's a nice song in one way, but it's a little too syrupy, I don't know. And I just never did play it. But I thought, I'm kind of running out of songs here, so I thought I'd play it for you. Carolyn Fife says, sweet song. Let's see. Dottie Hillebrand. Jerry, I love the song. I love being here, but I can't wait to go and meet the Lord and see my relatives too. Yep. Dottie Hillebrand again. Let's see here. It scrolled on me. Jerry, I love... No, that's the one I just read. It's the next one says, Jerry, my grandson got a big turkey yesterday. The turkey had 2 beards. I've killed them with 2 beards before. Yeah, and as far as wild game goes, turkey, at least from my perspective, is probably my favorite wild game. Now, if you're of the sort that thinks domestic turkey is a little dry and a little tough, or maybe too stringy, or in other words, if you don't like domestic turkey, you really won't like wild turkey, because it's definitely drier, tougher. The white meat is darker. It's not as white as it is on a domestic turkey, but I still think it's good. I don't think it's. I'll be honest. I don't think it's as good as a domestic turkey, but it's some of the better wild game. With my extremely sensitive taste, everything tastes strong to me. And so wild game tastes strong to me. And so that's why I think turkey is probably the best wild game. I can eat deer meat. I like deer meat. I do eat deer meat. But compared to beef, I don't care for it as much. I mean, I like beef much better. I like bacon way better yet. But deer's good too. I do like deer meat. Venison, if you want to get to the technical word that everybody uses. But we call it deer meat because that's what it is. Theron Corbett, good morning from Mescalero, New Mexico, setting up turkey camp today with hopes of calling in a couple of those gobblers in the next few days. Yeah, there are I think 4 main species of wild turkey. There's an eastern turkey. I'm not sure which one we have. I don't know if it's the eastern or not here. And then there's one out west, and I don't know the name of it. And then there's one down south, like the New Mexico area. So there's several different species. I'm no expert on it. The only ones I've ever hunted are the ones here in Missouri. Bill Mumbo, I would have thought those ticks would be poisoned by the alien blood in your veins. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, well, it's just not easy being me. They, yeah, for some reason they seem to find me fairly tasty. I don't know why. Maybe there's something they've never tasted before. That could be it. AB negative. They don't get a lot of AB negative blood. David Sutter, you going to grind up corn? Are you going to grind up corn? For the turkey, no. I don't think it's legal in Missouri. Well, I know it's not legal for deer to bait them, and I don't think it's legal to bait turkey either in Missouri. Missouri's got some pretty strict laws about hunting, and you cannot bait. The only thing, the closest thing you can do to baiting for like deer is to put out a salt block. You can put out all the food plots you want, just regular standard food plots. In other words, you can grow corn, you can grow beans, you can grow whatever you want to grow, clover, anything. You can do that, but you cannot throw out feed. So there you go. And I do try to always follow the game laws. I really do. I think I've told you before that I had thought about being a conservation agent when I got the call from Southwestern Bell to come work for them. But so, I have that tie still, really. I've always tried to abide by the conservation rules. Jason Wallen saw a video yesterday that they trained their dog to hunt for morel mushrooms. Could be a new job for Sadie. Yeah, I've taken her out there several times. Yeah, I just, that's all I can tell you. She doesn't seem to be as trainable on some things. I think she would find the deer antler, though. I think she's got that down. I don't know about the mushrooms yet. I haven't found that many, though, but she wants to bite them. And whenever I show them to her, she just wants to jump up and bite them because she's still got that pup in her, Bill Mumbo, if you find any Roman coins, Jerry, it would be miraculous. Yeah, I don't expect to find any of those. I'm not going to hold my breath on any of those. It would be cool, though, to find something like we've got deeds on this farm back to the 1850s. I would like to find coins in that time frame or even older because, if people were here in the 1850s, they could have older coins in their pockets, you know what I'm saying? And so it's possible, I think, to maybe find early 1800 coins here. Not very likely. It would be few and far between. I already know that, but at least it would be, it's not out of the realm of possibility. Dottie Hildebrandt, supposed to help your hands. Okay, I don't know what that means, Dottie. Did I miss something? Just the thing that Sue fixed up was supposed to help my hands. Well, she was hoping it would, but it didn't really. Honestly, guys, I don't think there's anything that's going to help my hands at all. Like I said, I don't know how to say this where it doesn't offend anybody, but I just don't have a placebo gene. I just don't. It's black and white with me. Everything's black and white. It's just black and white. It either does something or it don't do nothing. And that's what I've said about Tylenol and ibuprofen my whole life. I've always said, they don't do nothing. Why do I want to take that? People say, take some ibuprofen, take some. Fine. It's a lot of times I'll just take it just to, appease them. It doesn't do anything. And same way with like a Aleve. It does nothing. It does nothing. The only thing I have found at all, and it definitely does work, and it's similar to like an Aleve, or it's that same kind of, what do they call it, an NSAID or NSAID type product. It's the meloxicam I take. I can definitely tell a difference when I quit taking meloxicam. Yeah, and I stay on the meloxicam, but other than that, nothing, not one single thing has helped at all. And I've heard other people say the meloxicam doesn't help them, and I could believe that. But I know it's not a placebo thing, because I'll get off the meloxicam, like every once in a while my prescription will run out, and I don't get to the doctor or whatever to get it renewed or whatever. And maybe I'll go 4 or 5 days. Well, after about 5 days, the pain's so bad I can't stand it, and so I just go get that, and slowly knocks it way back down. It doesn't fix it. It just knocks the bleeding edge off of it, if you will. Let's see. Bill Mumbo. Okay. Paul Akers, can you fill a crack or joint with CA glue and go over it with lacquer? Thanks. Yeah, you could do that, Paul. You could do that. In fact, I'm sure I have done something along those lines. It just depends on the specific circumstances that you're talking about. But yeah, you can do that. Bill Mumbo, Jerry, could get a pig to hunt for those mushrooms. Yeah, the only problem is they're going to eat them. No, actually, I enjoy finding them. It's the grown-up version of Easter egg hunting. I mean, it really is. It's just a lot of fun to go out there and hunt for them. Well, it would be really cool if Sadie would help me. That would be really cool, but I ain't looking that that's going to happen. Roger Daigle, they have changed rules and owners can hunt until sunset. Boy, that's a new one on me. I wouldn't have believed that one, but okay, if you say so, I'll just take your word for it. But Missouri Conservation's always been pretty strict on that. They don't generally let you hunt till sunset because then you can shoot them off to roost. And that's the reason they didn't let you hunt till sunset. I'm amazed that would have changed. Roger Daigle, wild turkey makes great jerky. Well, I wouldn't know about that. Never done that. Yeah, Bill Mumble says, with inflation, it's all deer meat. Deer meat, as in DEAR meat. Leo Vanderwall, saw your vlog handling the bridge doctor the other day, but what about a sound post in a violin, and isn't there also one in a mandolin? Well, yeah, Leo, I've talked about this before, about sound posts, and there's a reason why the sound post works in a violin, and it works on all violin-style instruments. There's a very good logical explanation for it, why it works in those situations. Do you want to hear it? and it's a common sense, black and white, guaranteed 100% reason why it works. It's a different technology in a violin or a violin style instrument. Upright bass with a bow, cello with a bow, viola. It's because the bow is constantly vibrating the string. And it sends that vibration down through the whole instrument, and that vibration goes through that sound post to the back. When you pluck a string, it's a different technology. It's just a ping, and the post is much harsher when you're plucking a string than it is when you're doing this. It's a much harsher sound. And yes, I have put sound posts in cheap mandolins where the tops were caving in, and I would do that to save the mandolin and allow like a student to keep using their mandolin to play their mandolin. I'll put a sound post in it. But I can tell you for sure it does not help the sound at all. It hurts the sound significantly. It doesn't help it at all. So it's a different technology, and it's all due to the bow. And that's the reason. Hope that makes sense to you. But it definitely is the fact. It's a black and white fact. It's not like I've only done it one or two times. I've done it a bunch of times, and every single time the result is the same. And the same way with the bridge doctor. Every single instrument that's come in with a bridge doctor, when you take it out, it sounds better. It's just the way it is. And that's why that company that puts them in there on their brand new instruments hates me. They do. They don't like me at all. They think I'm a hack. Well, that's just fine. They can think whatever they want. I got no axe to grind with them. They make a great instrument, but they ought to throw those stupid bridge doctors away. David Sutter, I met with your water wheel. My daughter farms in North Carolina, and they have a water wheel. They grind corn and sell it at the flea market. Oh, gotcha. Well, I had the turkey thing on my brain when you asked about grinding the corn, and I just thought you were talking about throwing it out there, which is, a lot of people do things like that. Even in Missouri, there's still people that throw out bait when they're not supposed to. So that's what I had on in my brain. No, I don't think my water wheel is going to be grinding any corn or doing anything like that. I'm not sure it'll have the power to do anything, to be honest. I think it'll turn just fine. I don't think I'll have enough volume of water to really do any particular work. I do have a generator already made that I made out of an old washing machine motor, and it's an easy generator. With my hand, I can light a 100-watt light bulb with it. So I know it's a good generator, but I'm not sure that the even with that the water wheel will have the power to turn it properly. In case you don't understand, anytime, even on any kind of generator, there's what you call a cogging effect. And as you start to turn it, it starts to do this, like this, And if you don't have enough power to keep it moving, the faster you move it, the more that effect takes effect, and it's harder to turn. So I'm not sure my water wheel will be up to the task to even do that. And I'm almost positive it wouldn't have enough to do the grinding of grains or things like that. But anyway, it's interesting, and if it can do something, I'll have it doing something. But I just don't expect it. It's kind of like my metal detector. My hopes are not super high. Kind of wishing, but I don't really expect it. Let's see, the Outboard Tinkerer. Hi, Jerry. Heard Lone Star ticks don't carry Lyme disease, which is good. Well, I don't know. I don't think we have just one kind of tick here. I'm no expert on the ticks either. But from what I've seen, there's several different looks on ticks. I would say at least 3 different ones. They actually look different. And I don't know one from the other, to be honest with you. I don't know what they're called. I've never really heard them called Lone Star ticks till that guy called them that yesterday. I've never heard them called that. But anyway, we got a lot of ticks. I know that. And they suck blood. I do know that. Dottie Hildebrandt. Jerry, I won't be with the blog next week. I'm going fishing and the cabin don't have Wi-Fi. I'm sorry. I know everybody will be sad. I'm kidding about missing me. Yeah, well, I hope you have a real good time. I hope you catch a boatload of fish. I hope you have a real good time. That'll be fun. And then she says, no, Jerry, you're supposed to find some beehive, a honeybee, and stick your hands in it. Yeah, well, I've been there and done that already, too. I used to try to keep bees. That was 3 or 4 years I tried to keep bees. I never had very good luck with it. Mine always got some kind of a disease. They couldn't make it through the winters. You know how the Rosa thing is. Whenever I would have bees, that would be the worst winter ever. We'd get snow every single day. I could never get them through the winter. And I got stung a lot. A lot. And most beekeepers, when you get stung that much, you usually build up an immunity to it. Like I think I have to the spiders. I really think I've built up an immunity to the brown recluse. They don't even seem to bother me anymore when they bite me. But the honeybees, I didn't build up any immunity to those. In fact, you can go 2 ways with honeybees. You can get worse and worse, or you can get better and better. And I seem to be getting worse and worse. And I would swell so bad. I'd get just one little sting, and my whole hand would just swell up, and it would just itch so bad. Like you don't know itching until you get that kind of itching. It's so bad that it just drive you nuts. And you could just, it was all I could do to not scratch it. And the more you scratch it, the worse it gets, you know. It was bad. So I don't think there's much future for me to stick my hands in beehives and try to fix it that way. And if that was ever going to prevent it, it sure didn't. So I was stung a lot. I really was. And one time I got on my face, and it swelled the whole side of my face up, and, you know, it was bad. Now, I never had the allergic reaction where it gets in your lungs, you know, that where it closes off your throat or any of that. That's actually pretty rare, but I never had that, the anaphylactic shock or whatever they call it. Theron Corbett, there are... Miriam, yep, I remember that. Miriam and Grant, yep, now that you say it, I know them. Yeah, Miriam, Rio Grande, Eastern, and Osceola. I've heard of all of those. I just couldn't, you know me in names. I couldn't think of them. The Gould, I think I've heard of the Gould as well. I think I've heard of that. Zappa, I once encountered a turkey roost tree at late dusk. There must have been 40, 50 in the tree. Startled me. Looked like black popcorn. Yeah, couldn't focus on one. Yeah, Missouri's really strict on their hunting, and I'm going to look up that law and see if, because I mean, I've taken your word for it that it changed, but I just having a real tough time believing they changed that, because Missouri's so dang strict on everything, and that's the reason they didn't do it, because all you got to do is just, if you know where they roost, you just sit there and they're quiet, and they're going to fly up in that tree, and boom, you got one. They fly up before dark, you know. So, anyway. Zappa, Bob Hamby, Missouri Conservation changed the hunting hours. If you are hunting on private property, you can hunt all day, but on public land, you have to cut out the woods by 1 p.m. Oh, okay. Well, I know the 1 p.m. was always the rule my whole life. It's been 1 p.m., but maybe the private property is the difference. I don't know. But still, it just, like I said, they're so strict. I just can't believe they did that. I mean, I'm believing it because you're telling me, but that's one of those things that's hard to get my head wrapped around, because I know how strict Missouri is. Dennis Moon, Jerry, maybe Roger was talking about hunting wild turkey rules changing to allow hunting until sunset. It may be he was talking about at sunset some people pour wild turkey from a bottle. Yeah, well, that could be too. That looks like that's the last comment, guys, and I think I'm going to go ahead and cut it off there. I've got a date with a bunch of rock and cement. That's going to be fun. Yeah, that'll make my hands feel better, though. So I'm looking forward to it. We will see you tomorrow with something else. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being so nice to me. We will see you tomorrow.